This is Margaret in Windsor. I debated whether to put this video up today, but I was again, to give you a frame of reference, I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41. I was born in 39. I was brought to Moulton, Alabama, which is about 45 miles from what became NASA in Huntsville, and that happened in the early 50s. And there are connections to treaties and Warner von Braun, a lot of scientists that were brought over, because kidnapping and ransom has different forms. And my Uncle George sold out my father. I didn't know my real name until 83, when I was in a political campaign to replace Larry McDonald, U.S. Congressman, and he was a urologist from Atlanta, Georgia, Piedmont Hospital. And his plane went down in 83, and I became a candidate, and I was flown out to Larry Flint's. And he had been shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing a medical malpractice book, MD, A License to Kill. It was about Larry McDonald, congressman, doctor, and the Warren and Rosina Matthews murders there in Marietta, Cobb County. That's where I was living. And was prosecuted there by Buddy Darden, who I liked, and he ran against me in that campaign to replace Larry McDonald, because it was a special election. His plane was shot down, the passenger plane, KAL, by the Soviets that veered into their airspace. But I want to get back to the mind control. I was writing about mind control, about modifying behavior. This is back in 76, 77, 78, and I worked for doctors. The last group that I worked for was Dr. Forsyth Kuchar and McCoy. I really worked for Forsyth and Kuchar. And later, just before going to Larry Flint's during that campaign in 83, so this would have been September of 83, I did get back to Atlanta because so much had happened to me, to Marietta. I'd had antifreeze put in me April Fool Day of 80 after receiving a letter from the U.S. Attorney Harper June the 23rd of 79. I thought it was because of the book. I didn't know about my real name and all of that part of it. So I did get a few jobs. My jobs had been shut down. I did get a job through the Hawkins temporary there in Marietta, and I was sent up to Dr. Ruth McClure. She was a GYN. I believe she also delivered babies. My point in her name is she hired me, and her nurse said, well, we'll go down and vote for you. And she also told me that she had been a roommate with Rosina Matthews during medical, when they were going to medical school. So it was deliberate that I was put there. I'd written about those murders, and mind control was used in that. And she says, I certainly hope you win. So I wanted to put that in there because it's some of the jobs I held where information I got and put together. It's like putting together a puzzle. But the main thing is my father, a decent man, history has him down marrying Wallace Simpson, which is a lie. This is a double. He never married her, and 99 had nothing to do with it. She's an American spy. And Elizabeth has always known it. She's illegal. Instead of trying to make any overtures to correct a huge mistake, look how she lives. Maybe the world has to see what was done to me while she's living off of my money, because she's illegal. I'm Victoria II, the legal heir. This is George the Sixth, illegal, with Eleanor Roosevelt's or Franklin Delanor's mother, and this is his mother. I guess that's his wife over there by George, looking sweet. They're here in D.C. This is who's called the Queen Mom, Elizabeth's mom, and his wife, George. And this is Roosevelt, who appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England 36 to 46. What they did was take out my father. My own uncle helped. He became the illegal monarch. 99-year seal put on a pack of lies. And they kidnapped me. The real monarch the day I was born, because of the situation that had developed. My father was trying to save everything, not at all like was written about him. My God, he was written to. He was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to Georgia O'Keefe, and I was born in '39, all legal. The New World Order, which Elizabeth and Charles are a part of now, the Freemasons, the global power that's in place now, helped with my kidnapping. Wrote about mind control and what you can do with it, programming. And this is one of them that I came up here in '86 and lived on the Appalachian Trail and starved and froze because I was shut down. Seriously. Why else would I have lived up there and gone through that? This is Timothy McVeigh, and he tried to tell that he had a chip put up his buttocks by the U.S. Army. This is the book, Implantable Biochips, and it was called Project Lucid. I believe Tex Mars wrote that. That was, and you can tie what I'm talking about, the patterns, the mind control murders were done in patterns. And the Timothy McVeigh's can certainly, he's dead, be brought in there. I was given and proven, I was given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, and I married Childers. When I got the birth certificates, it wasn't the date I'd grown up and they gave me, so they simply left 1938 here and just wrote through, marked over and inserted January. Now, Carl's was different. He was a twin. Both of them were killed by their mother, Lina. They were born out of wedlock. Here they crossed out the month. They've crossed out '08 and put 1939, January the 7th. It looks like 7th. Now then, I want to go to this before it goes out. This is Larry Flint when I was out there, and he was the guy that shot him. Was programmed. He was in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and he says here that I know who was responsible for his shooting. He's got listed Larry McDonald. It's the group. Now I wanted to put this one real quick, and the last thing I was going to say that I debated, because I put this up. This is my sons Mark and Scott, and I haven't known where they are in so long. They're heirs after me. This is a long time ago. The photos, and this is one of the mind control murders. Astronauts Mark Kelly and his twin Scott, and Mark Kelly's married to Gabby Gifford, and that's the Tucson, Arizona, which is mind control. The Sandy Hook shootings, the Columbine, all those. Now, what I wanted to say here, and I debated whether to do it, is if anybody's followed me, I cannot go out as it stands today and get a place to live, even at Section 8, because the Section 8 is shocking what people will do. And I can't even go out and get that. I'm allergic to chemicals, and wherever I've gone, they've soaked me. And I've told this on other tapes, so I'm not going to go back. I wanted to say this. At Richfield, not Richfield, excuse me, that was one of the ones that did that to me, but in Edinburgh and Joseph's Dream over in Bedford, Joseph's Way. This one is where a young man walked in at 11 p.m., I believe it was Friday night this past week, and he got through security, and he shot at the ceiling, I believe, and told all the staff to leave, which is odd. Well, the police were called, and they came out, and they shot the man. I'm not even going to say his name. But anyway, this would fall into the patterns I'm speaking of. I had tried to enter there so many times. They don't have Section 8, but I could have gotten in. And the person that ran it was a former Channel 10 news director when I came here. His name was Ken Serpan, and he left and went to work as administrator there. And over the years, I called and begged, and he wouldn't even talk to me until a law enforcement person I know that was responsible everywhere I went. So that meant that they were responsible for the chemicals that were poured into me and have just about killed me. I'm allergic to chemicals. I have an immune disorder.